Hello everyone, welcome to Cooking with Vince Live. If you're new here, please like and subscribe to the channel, it would be highly appreciative. Today, we're gonna be doing another reaction video and we're gonna be reacting to QCP's meatball recipe. Now, QCP is a very controversial character, we'll say. He does do a lot of great recipes. He's controversial in the sense that he can be a little vulgar sometimes. He's definitely entertaining. I'm gonna let you know what I think of his meatball recipe if I would do anything different. And keep in mind, this is gonna be a live reaction, so I've never seen this video before. And stay tuned, I'm gonna let you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to make something that everybody loves. Balls. Meatballs. The right way. There's a whole lot of instructions. I'm gonna give you guys a crazy depth to how to do it the best way, pretty authentic. I'm gonna give you guys the experience of a lifetime. Grab a little bit of this, a little bit of this. We got a couple balls, we got a bunch of balls, a lot of balls, like this. Get an avocado. Oh, this avocado is disgusting. Everybody loves balls. Prove me wrong. You're gonna get a little pot full of water, and we're gonna boil some tomatoes. First step of making the sauce, you gotta have the sauce. There we go. While we're waiting for the water to boil, come up a little glass of wine. Why not? It's a Friday night. Cheers, bitch. See this? Why don't you have one? Click the link in my bio, go bench.shop, get yourself an apron. You might as well cook in style, baby. Red balls. Into the water. Oh my fuck! Oh my god, I should not do that. You're the last person you're supposed to watch when you want to learn the safety of cooking. I got no shirt on, but just be careful if you ever want to copy me. Just be careful. It hurts a lot.
So me, I actually do not boil my tomatoes that way. Usually I either use canned San Marzano tomatoes, and I'll usually cook it for a longer time period if I'm doing a bolognese sauce or if I'm doing my Sunday tomato sauce. I'll sometimes also use cherry tomatoes. So cherry tomatoes is another alternative to that. But when I'm making meatballs, I typically don't just boil the tomatoes. So this is definitely an interesting technique. Definitely curious to see how this is going to turn out and which application he decides to cook the meatballs in as far as tomato sauce is concerned.
There you go. Once they start peeling a little bit like this, you take it out. A little peel. Peel off the skin. Just wait for them to cool down. I don't got time for that shit right now. Circumcision joke. But don't peel the skin off your baby at childbirth. Think about it. You gotta get the juices out. You can use your hands. It's a little hot for that, so I got one of these tools. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking the tomatoes, I boil them, throw them in here, smush them around. You want to get just the juices out. So I'm using a little strainer, and I'm just going to kind of press around and twirl around until we get all the juices out. The garlic is so old, it's growing fucking hairs. Not going to use that. I'm going to use some other fresh garlic. Let's see what we got here. Some nice big chunks. There we go. Nice garlic here, nice garlic here, nice garlic here. Crush and peel. One of the greatest weapons to come out of Italy, the wooden spoon. You gotta lower the flame, don't burn the garlic. If you crush the garlic, it'll start infusing the olive oil with garlic. You want that, it's gonna taste good. Okay, guys,
Now again, this is a personal style preference, but I do like the way that crushed tomatoes, I like the way that crushed garlic tastes in sauces because it's not as overpowering or overbearing. I actually do like to chop up the garlic a little bit more fine. I generally don't just like to use the whole clove because then the garlic, one, I don't think it infuses into the sauce as well, and two, I think it's just a little bit too concentrated where the garlic cloves are at. So that's just my honest opinion. I would try to either crush up your garlic or try to chop it up a little bit more finely.
I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I would have had to use a ton more tomatoes for today, but I'm not gonna show anyone else. I'm gonna take some of this crushed tomatoes and pour it in there. Need a whole lot of sauce.
And those are actually really fantastic tomatoes, Pomi tomatoes. Really great San Marzano tomatoes. So definitely a good quality San Marzano Italian tomato that he's using.
I'm just good like that. It's crazy. Get some salt, man. And some black pepper. Reminds me of Christmas. Throw some basil. Nice. Oh, fuck.
The other thing is I would always add your basil towards the end. That way you don't actually burn up your basil during the cooking process. It doesn't look like this sauce has been cooking that long. I'm a little bit worried that the basil is going to end up just cooking out of the sauce. He did break up the basil, which is good. You generally don't want to cut your basil because then, as Vincenzo says, you leave all the flavor on the cutting board.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of beef.
Oh my god, you're gonna die.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god, you're gonna die. These raw meat.
What the fuck are these? Sweet sausage? Bunch of dips. Let's get the meat out of it. Oh, fuck. That's so gross. Looks like a used cup. Now here's everything that's going inside the meatballs. Starting off with the base. You chop it up nice and fine, just like you. I totally just copied like 5 different people that say that. They don't watch my videos. They're too busy making them themselves. Just imagine just fucking chopping your finger off. It'd be so scary. Supposedly I'm supposed to go like this. I watched somebody from his willing on YouTube. Said to do it. Oh no, that's scary. I'm gonna cut my finger. That's good. Oh, he's right. You gotta hold it like this. You ain't gotta chop my finger off. It's more accurate. He said you become one with the blade when you grab the blade. Sprinkle that in. The next thing that goes in is the garlic. Doesn't really matter the order. You just gotta throw it in there and toss that shit up. Toss that in that shit. Let's go.
The order does matter. The order absolutely matters. You want to start to cook your garlic first because then it's going to infuse in the sauce better. You don't want to add garlic into the tomatoes afterwards because then it's not going to really infuse into the sauce the right way. So the order definitely matters. And again, I would say if you're going to add the meat, I would brown the meat before cooking the tomatoes. Unless you do like raw meatballs, you actually roll out your meatballs, which he might be doing. And then he basically puts the raw meatballs and cooks it into the sauce. So that is one method for cooking it. I personally like to fry up my meatballs. That's one of my more favorite ways to do it. But in my Sunday tomato sauce, I actually did cook them raw in the sauce for a long time period.
Okay, so traditionally, you're supposed to use old bread. As crazy as this sounds, old bread. I'm gonna tell everyone it's old on the TikTok and shit. Bread? People are gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing when you see this? So yeah, technically.
And in all fairness, I think he meant the order doesn't matter when you're making the meatballs, which he's right in that sense. When you're making the sauce, that's where it actually does matter.
So you're supposed to use old bread. It's supposed to be a little more crusty for texture. Old bread, milk.
That is a good way to do it.
Toss it together. I'm gonna break it down like this a little bit. And then toss it in this bitch. There we go. Textural purposes. So salt. Like up. Parmesan. Pecorino. One last thing. I just pushed my hair back because I was gonna smack this on my forehead. There's nothing in there. Breadcrumbs. Use those fucking hands and mix that shit around. even worth this shit.
Yeah, Quagmire, we're cooking meatballs with QCP.
He's a griffin? He really making it bad. He's just throwing it down like that.
Now, for my meatballs, I do measure one ingredient, and that's the breadcrumbs. So I personally, this is my honest preference, for 3 pounds of meat, I use a cup of breadcrumbs. That, in my opinion, makes the best consistency for your meatballs, where they're tender enough, but they're not overly bready, and that gives you more ample ability to put more cheese in there. And you could do Parmigiano Reggiano, Pecorino Romano. Looks like he did a combination of the two with the basil. So definitely doing the meatballs the right way. He's not cutting any corners. Now, one thing he didn't mention is what meat he uses. I like to do ground pork, and I always like to do veal in my meatballs, and I do 80-20 ground chuck. So that's the 3 meats that I always use in my meatballs.
You make up for it. You're some big balls. I should chill out. My balls aren't even this big. Whole bunch of fucking olive oil. Balls. Yeah. You gotta make room for the balls. That was intense. Flip these little fuckers. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, they're nice and golden. The balls into the sauce. Nestle them in nice and tight. Take a little bit of that pasta water. I'm going to toss it into here. As weird as it sounds, the starch from the pasta that releases is going to thicken up the sauce. It's already thick. I loosened it up. It's going to make it thick again. And it's going to stick to the balls. Cover it up. Oh shit! Everyone asks, do you clean up the kitchen after you cook? The answer is no. You know. I know. Okay. Ball test. Ball test.
What kind of balls?
Hot. How's the texture?
Very textured. Good.
Soft.
Like
Smooth.
Yeah. Well shaped.
Pasta into the sauce. Let's take this Parmesan.
So, in my opinion, I like to add the cheese after I mix the pasta with the sauce. That way, there isn't as much like strings of cheese, like a melted cheese. I do like the cheese to be put on once the pasta is ready to be served. Personal preference.
Let me more basil. It's alright. No worries. Gordon Ramsay taught me this. You just toss this up. Sunday sauce. Turn this into the Sunday sauce. Get the heat on, and the heat back on for this. The meatballs are absolutely perfect. Just fucking toss this up. Oh shit, should I just go all the way around? Shove all the fucking balls in there? Oh, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. Everybody loves balls. Prove me wrong. Into the water. Peel off the skin. Oh! Get some salt, mate, and some black pepper, got some basil.
Oh my god, you're gonna die, please, Robbie!
I don't give a fuck. Touching tips. Looks like a used cup. Bread, milk. Bread, milk. Salt, Parmesan, Pecorino. Use those fucking hands and mix that shit around.
Yeah, we're cooking meatballs with QCP.
Whole bunch of fucking olive oil. You gotta make room for the balls. My dad would be so fucking proud. Bon appetito, bitch.
All right, so that is QCP's meatball video. His execution and technique actually was pretty good. I would like to see him discuss why he's maybe doing certain things to maybe people out there that are new to Italian cooking, and maybe going over the ingredients a little bit more. And that would be what I would say. Obviously, you know, he's definitely a character. He's definitely pretty comical. But that's my honest assessment. QCP, you receive my official stamp of approval. And again, thanks everybody for watching. If you're new here, please like and subscribe to the channel. It's always highly appreciated.